This is an open letter from a being living on Earth in 2023. This is in the year of your last Lord and Savior 2023 as a being living on your planet. This is an open letter to Nobel Peace Prize Committee. Nobel Peace Prize Committee. This year they gave the Peace Prize to an Iranian who believes in a certain ideals of where is the woman's place in the society and where is how she should be covered in the society. Basically fashion. What should be the fashion in the society? Because the Iranians and the Arabs and everybody else in that shithole in the Middle East, everybody of them believes that women should be modest. And this is a form of modesty that they can present that says, okay, in this situation, with this modesty, it's acceptable for a woman to come outside. Because men are a bunch of horny jackasses, and apparently one woman is not enough for them and they're looking for multiple partners. So they say, okay, yes, let's cover up all the women so the beautiful ones wouldn't stick out. So then we would have a less stressful, more humble, more secure society. Less stressful because men are primates. They see pussy, they want pussy. It's as simple as primates get. And then this is the way that primitive culture has come up with in order to produce a cohesive society within their cultural understanding. In their cultural understanding, this is how they reach a cohesive society. If they cover all the women up, then they believe they reach a more cohesive society. That's the whole objective. I don't give a fuck about the religion or whatever the fuck they worship, whichever new gods that you come up with. They have started worshiping recently. But the point is this. This is how the way they think their women should wear or not wear clothing for the purpose of creating a cohesive society. And that cohesive society is a very, very, I can say the cohesive society is very environment dependent. Harsh, dry, hot environment has a very more aggressive existence in general, and cooler climates have got more, more stoic existence. It's just you can go as simple as the effect as a fucking climate has on people when their environment has certain degree of humidity, certain degree of heat. All of this means that your environment is one of the main factors that determines what your culture is. Your environment. Mellow environments creates mellow cultures. Harsh environments creates harsh cultures. And one of the side effects of cultures is what is the place of women in the society, including what they should wear. I'm not defending or accusing anyone of anything. Salute to all. Here's the thing. If you say that you got the right idea how this idea is the right idea and everybody else should follow. In science, if you have the right idea and you say everybody should follow my idea or everybody should follow our rules, love the rules based order. When you say everybody has to follow our rules, okay, in any sense, religious, governmental, form of government, form of culture, what form of clothing or fashion should, certain genders in certain areas on this planet is wearing, and that's the wrong thing to do, and freedom of women, restricting women in any way in the society is the wrong thing to do. If you say all of that, and this is your theory that any kind of restriction from one gender to another gender is, should be, gone away with, and it should be equality of genders in front of the law or in front of the culture. Their culture should change. But this is basically what you're saying. The Peace Prize Committee, the Nobel Peace Prize Committee. This is what you're saying. By taking sides in a shithole in the Middle East, you're saying that we approve by taking side, giving a prize to somebody who says, I have a different idea. Why don't women walk around with their asses hanging out? This is my idea. You see, the Westerners are doing, the Europeans and the European colonies have their women walk around with their asses hanging out, and that's okay. And I think that's the right idea. You see, this woman in the Middle East that you gave the Peace Prize to, Miss Narges Mohammadi, she's basically saying, I think women should have more rights, equal rights. Equal rights. I think they should have, equal say in what they were in the society, and, no restrictions should be enforced. I agree somewhat. What can I say? But here's the thing. You're giving a prize. That means you're saying we believe this theory, equality of sexes, absolute equality of sexes in front of the eyes of the law, and then you go a step farther and you say because the women give birth to the children, so they're more equal in the eyes of the law, a little more equal than the men, because they have direct ownership of the child. It came out of their body, and I understand some of that. But the thing is, when you claim such a theory, you say my theory is a better theory, then according to scientific standards, I get to say, can you show me the proof? You see? When you come up with a theory like that, with an idea like that, you would want to see the proof. Is your societies better? And in what way they are better? I mean, there is this idea, basically what I'm saying, make it clear right off the bat, is that you're saying our system is better, and we give a prize to that woman who over there who advocates for our system. But your apex is yourself. You're saying our system is better, and we give a prize to anybody who advocates our system. And I guess I understand that. But the problem is you can't prove to me that your system is better. There is no proof of it, because you have been practicing your system, giving more and more freedom to women in the society, and then giving equality, absolute equality. And by the way, I'm not the first one stating we have a problem there. Houston, there is a problem with this woman equality. I'm not the first one who's saying it. There's a Miss Pearl Davis on YouTube, that basically she's got a channel, and she's an American woman who's basically saying that, yeah, maybe we gave too many rights to women, because she has come to a conclusion that this equality thing doesn't work. To hold the family unit together, somebody needs to be the boss. patriarchy or it's matriarchy. There is some, you motherfuckers are too primitive to go do it any other way. You need a patriarchy or a matriarchy. You need something to fix this fucking thing with. You need something that one generation after your next generation is going to be better. Is it? Where is your proof? You've been practicing it for 100 years, and now you have societies in Europe and North America that are, overfed, undereducated, very stressful, very stressed, and ready to go with anywhere, anytime, anyhow. Ready to kick some ass to make sure, everybody knows their place. This is within your society, domestically and internationally. And you're thinking to yourself, so because it was just you who invaded 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sovereign countries, or at least 40, 50 different sovereign countries in the last century. You people who practice this form of freedom for women, and women should be in the workplace, and women should, walk around with their ass hanging out, and women should be, you who advocate for this have created two, maybe 3 or 4 generation now that are, one generation is worse than the other in terms of civility, in terms of their education, in terms of their behaviors in the society, in terms of every color. All of you in the West, in the North Americas and Western Europe have done a shit ass job, and the statistics are there to show. Statistics in terms of education, statistics in terms of information, statistics in terms of behavior, understanding that the important thing is civility. You have failed. But you keep saying, but our system is better, they should adapt to our system. What are you talking about? Okay. What I'm saying is that you say women's liberation, and then what in practice turns out is that yes, women are liberated, so they strive for short-term goals such as earning a degree, and which you can learn get a lot of information off the internet just by at home. Literally, you can get more information than a person with degree. So the point is this: you have created a generation after generation in pink skins areas of the world, which is one generation a little less hardy than the last generation, less hardy, less wise. So between your kids and the kids coming out of let's say India or China or let's say even Egypt, the children that come out of those areas are a lot wiser in terms of knowing geography, knowing history of the world, at least from a lot of perspective from their area on the map. At least people that those societies produce, I'm not saying they're better, I'm just saying that they are more social, more informed. So, and then you figure out and you say, okay, let's sit down and say, beside the short-term self-congratulatory attitude that women get when they pursue a career in the society, then raising a family, that self-congratulatory perspective that women get when they follow their convictions and pursue a adventure of their own in the society, and let's say they reach a position. But the point is this: you have advocated this for them. You have advocated, yes, woman needs a career, and woman needs to be liberated to pursue a career, and all of that. Okay. Have you prepared for your men to be housemen full time? Because somebody gotta be with the kids, with the fucking kids. Somebody gotta be with them if you want your next generation to be better than your last generation. Somebody gotta be with the kids. Even if it's by microns, one generation is better than the last generation, still it's an improvement. But you have gone back. One generation after the next generation has become more selfish and self-centered. In the in those who follow democracy and freedom for women, your generations have gone backwards. The information that your kids get out of while growing up has shrunk. They're keeping sports statistics and nonsense about superheroes, but then about the society around them they know very little, because mommy drops me off at school and mommy picks me up from school, and then we go do a little exercise and then we go home. How many times in the week you go to the poor side of your town? Oh, we don't go there. Mommy does not approve. Oh, okay. Folks, there's a dissociation. Your ideas about this is the right way to go has not resulted in a better form of society. Better society has not resulted better society in the West. The pinkskins who follow this democracy and freedom business have remained colonialist, have attacked a bunch of new countries just in 21st century. They got together and formed a group, sort of a mafia family, and they go around and kick ass. And they kicked ass in the Middle East, and they kicked ass in Africa and South Asia. They kicked ass before, and it's a bunch of pinkskins who got together and formed an alliance. Yesterday was Warsaw Pact, and today is NATO. So bunch of pinkskins got together and formed a pact. This is not evolution in a society. If you have more war, this is not evolution. If you're the creator of the war, you take your army from this side of the planet to that side of the planet, and you say that we are here to bring you joy with our soldiers. When have soldiers brought joy? When have soldiers from one race of people have brought joy to another race of people? Never. So what is this? No. We are allies. We're going to kick ass anywhere we want because we got together and we got the best weapons. The biggest ones. And your common denominator, let's be frank, my friend in Northern Hemisphere, your common denominator is that you're all pinkskins, Europeans, of European background. The whole alliance, NATO, is formed around people of the specific race, North America and Europe. And now they're adding AUKUS, North America and South Pacific, and then MAUKUS. So basically it's a race war that your generation, like since you went through this mental evolution that let's give our women more freedom and more say in the society, and to follow a career in the society, you have continued to raise pirates. every race, and I'm not specific, but it's just the, the North American and European are much better because they got better weapons. But they're all the rest of them also, if they get a chance, they start doing piracy. But I think what I'm trying to say is that the way you treated women, because women raise the next generation. Forget about school or child care that you keep pushing in the society. Child care, it's good maybe a couple of hours a day. School is good maybe a couple of hours a day. Just as much as you humans can pick up how to be social, how to be social. That's all you need from a society. The rest of it, the rest of civil behavior and civil conscience should be learned at home. Culture should be learned at home. The rest of this, bullshit that gets you through your daily life should be learned at home. But your system of total equality has resulted in more separations. Sort of like, what is a separation? What is divorce? Basically, two people not agreeing on who's the boss. Let's be frank. Two people not agreeing and let's even get more crude than that. I'm sorry. But basically not agreeing who's on top. Let's make it a sexual concept for you apes to understand. The whole idea of who should be on top is your objective. Is you're saying that no, there should be nobody on top. There should be total equality. And equality doesn't work. Because we have a saying in the shithole that I come from. We say that if equality was good, equal partner, if the idea of equal partner was good, God would have a wife or a husband, whoever God, if there is a God, whoever the fuck that person is, must have a husband or a wife. If, to be 50-50 sharing a universe. That would never happen. It just wouldn't happen. Because, God doesn't have your God, the one that you prescribe for yourself, whoever it is usually one. Those who have many gods, they're more confused than you, believe me. But the point is this. You that believe in one God, you believe in one God. You don't believe in one and wife. You just give, one of your own pussies to him and, he reproduces. But you still consider him as one. The idea is a family unit, your primates. You folks are primates. And the family unit in a primate, we go back to the gorilla, is the silverback gorilla. He's the boss, and he has a bunch of women around, a bunch of, female gorillas around him. And that's your natural way of being. You did go a step farther, better, you made it better by the idea of marriage. And you said that, okay, we have a marriage, we don't have, one silverback and a bunch of females running around him. We are past the point of gorillas. So we consider marriage is very important, and we deal with infidelity really harshly because we don't want to have a gorilla outfit. All the females, circling around one gorilla, and every time one of the kids grows up enough, the silverback kicks them out of the group. Because he wants to have all the females to himself as a silverback gorilla. That's how it is, how it works. But the idea that you come and say, no, human societies, we are bees. We can be individuals and serve a queen. You're not bees. You human beings, you motherfuckers are not bees. You're primates. This idea of equality, that's why you have so many divorces, because this idea of equality is saying that two worker bees have equal values. So male and female should have equal values because their whole purpose is serving the queen or the king, whoever the fuck is on top. Apparently Charles is on top now. Here's to Charles and his mommy. My point is this: you folks are primates. You don't work based on the idea of total equality between the sexes. Your system, your primates. You work based on group, a family group. You know, at the most, you're mentally capable of working within an extended family of brothers all living under the same roof, and having their children and the grandparents living with them. You are at that level. You can understand that, but being a worker bee is just not in your thing. That's why it is all the divorces, because you can't run a family when there is equality in the eyes of the law and the accepted paradigm. If the idea is equality, it will not work. You will have a bunch of single parents, because as I said, it be either patriarchy or matriarchy. Somebody got to be on fucking top, because you're primates. You're not robots, you're not bees, you're not ants, you're primates. You need a center in small groups with small centers in order to function better. Now, if you want to, teach these people something from the outside, internet is great. Teach people something from the outside over the internet. But you gotta leave the families alone. And leaving the families alone means, there must be a hierarchy in the family. You want to put the mother on top, fine. You want to put the father on top, which is the natural thing to do. Remember, you're from cousins of silverback gorillas. You want to put the mothers in charge, fine. But there's no silverback gorilla, female equivalent of silverback gorilla running any colony of gorillas. There's always a male silverback gorilla. There's a reason. Anyway, you want to do it your way, do it a straight up matriarchy and make the woman the chief of the house, and the man has to, lick all day long. But the point is this: make it something, because your brain doesn't work in a way of equality. It doesn't work because you're group oriented. For heaven's sakes, you have sports that's rooting for one color of the banner over another color of banner. That's how tribal you still are. The brain is tribal, but you're telling them to live like bees, colonial, all equal rights, and all females and male mixed together. It will not work. That's why it didn't work in Greece. That's why it didn't work in Rome. And this whole idea of fuck whoever you want, be with whoever you want, and anytime you want, and there is no social taboos with disregards, and women should follow career, and there is a price to pay. This is what I'm trying to say. You give these prizes and you promote your values because it's your values. That part I understand, but do you have any proof that these values work? Has it worked for you? Has it helped? Let's go from the top. Has it helped with your family stability? Have giving women equality in the society has it provided more family stability during the past 100 years that you have been implementing this new freedom business and equality business between men and women in your planet, in your societies in the northern hemisphere? Has it provided more stability to a family? We already went over this idea that you need a family. You need a family because you're primates. So and your minds work on that at that level. You're not worker bees. You, you don't understand that. And if that tries to be forced, then you break up the family. What you break up is stability of the families. So your families have become less stable in the northern hemisphere, in the pink skin run areas of the world, in democracies. Your family have become less stable. Why? Because you gave equality to women. So there is always this concept of no, no, no. At the end of the day, we have to agree over everything. Of course, you're not going to agree over everything. Because the man is territorial. Remember the silverback gorilla. The man is territorial with regards to his, his room, his house, his land, his women, his, tribe. Men, this is who you fucking are. That's the whole idea between all these gangs, from the gangs of New York to the gangs of LA to the gangs in New York and Washington. You guys are tribal. To the gangs in fucking Middle East. All kinds of shitty names they got, acronyms they got in the Middle East for their gangs. You're tribal, you're family oriented, but in the West you are advocating no, 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 we have to be bee oriented. We all serve, if we are all equal, and at equality we serve one queen. I don't think so. It's not gonna work. Your brain is not designed that way. Second question: has your children's upbringing have been better than before? Are your children more wise and more civilized than the children of the yesteryears? No, they're not. This is common understanding that 40s and 50s there were grown-ups in the room. And now this George W. Bush was the head of the room. So they're not, it's like John Wayne and George W. Bush don't have much in common. Not John Wayne per se, John Wayne character. The characters that John Wayne played didn't have much in common with George W. Bush. So have your children upbringing been better? That means have your standards risen? No, your standards have fallen because you have lowered the bar. Because I have a teacher who's 22 because we don't pay teachers well, so only 23 years old, 22 years old, 25-year-olds can become teachers because they don't require much money. And so who else is left? Nobody, real wise people don't become teachers at schools anymore because the pay is shitty. So your children haven't been brought up better. And because, a mother should be encouraged to teach her own kids. That's the primary function of a mother, to raise a good family. Don't hear it from me. Imagine, here's the thing. Imagine an alien from another planet lands here and after speaking perfect English with you, tells you that, who are these? Are these your females? And you say, yes, there are females. This is my vice president. She's a female. And the alien will say, so there's a male in the workforce, in the society, and then there is a female. Who the fuck is raising the kids? And then you tell them that, we have these institutions that we bunch up our kids and then give the keys, put all our kids in a room and give the keys to a 22-year-old who doesn't know her own ass from the hole in the ground, and while their mothers are in the workforce. Well, the alien is going to say, wow, and how are your kids coming up? Well, you say, because their schools are overcrowded. The schools are overcrowded, and their nurseries are overcrowded. And then because the pay is so shitty, we are paying a 22-year-old to watch over 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. It's not turning at 30, 20, 30, 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds. So you have a 22-year-old woman who doesn't know her ass from a hole in the ground teaching 14, 15, and 16-year-olds stuff. No wonder sometimes the teacher sleeps with the student, because she doesn't have anything to teach. She's not wise enough to teach, but because the pay is shitty, the older people, the wiser people don't go towards teaching. So you take the children from the mothers and then you give it to a 22-year-old who doesn't know her ass from the hole in the ground. And you think this is a better environment for teaching than at home with her mother who gave birth to her or him and has a stake in this motherfucker growing up with all the wisdom possible, with all the, culture and civility and information as possible. Can a mother do better, or a 22-year-old who has to deal with 30 of these kids, 40 of these kids, 20 of these kids? She's 22, she's 25, she's 28. She can't pull her pants up. She's supposed to teach 20 or 30 of these kids shit that she doesn't know because she hasn't aged that much, because she's 22. Here's the thing, when your teachers become 75-year-olds, 65-year-olds, I say that's a good society. 65-year-old teacher, 55-year-old teacher. That's who you need. Women, man, doesn't matter. People who have, lived a life have something to teach. Are you fucking kidding me? And you're telling me, no, this is the right way to do, because we have given our women freedom of choice, freedom to follow their careers, whatever they like, and then their kids are being raised by the 22-year-old who can't speak English or Spanish or Portuguese or French. And has this worked out? So that's why it hasn't worked out. You're giving your kids to people who are kids themselves. No wisdom at all. Are you fucking kidding me? And you think this is a system to promote? Okay. We have seen clearly that social cohesion is not up in the West, it's down, because all these aggressiveness between, and it always was there, but there were no cameras, not that many cameras to show us the shit that we human beings are. Now the cameras are there and they can show the shit that we are. So, and what they are showing is there is no social cohesion that you were able to produce in the West. And year after year, it became worse. So that means, are you raising better kids or worse kids if social cohesion is breaking away, breaking apart, getting worse? Social respect. I mean, breaking a fucking statue and throwing it in the river, are you trying to erase a history? Well, try to be nice at present. Keep the history as a reminder what shit you were. Keep the statue. You can just add at the bottom of it what you need to add. Why do you destroy the statues? Just add at the bottom what your truth. Add it. Make another pile of card. Here's what you fucking monkeys can do on your planet. Tell your young kids, if you find them for 2 minutes in the classroom, if the 22-year-old keep her hands out of their pants for 2 seconds, you teach them. You don't need to, take the throw the statue. There is productivity that has been used. There's productivity there that productivity has created a statue. It represents a period in your history in which you thought otherwise. Now you know better. Now you add what you know better. Now we know that this motherfucker was not the savior of humanity. He was banging the slaves. But just add it. Don't destroy the fucking statue. You fucking morons. Education of your children. I'm sorry, in the West, as far as I've noticed, recently, in the past 50 years at least, most of the academic prizes have gone to the Easterners. Maybe, I'm missing something, but education of your children has not been better. It's just not. The average is not better, and the best is not better. You just know less because information is not important, and the new perfume that Kim Kardashian is wearing, or Paris Hilton is wearing, or Chelsea Clinton is wearing, that perfume is is all that there is. That's the important stuff. You know. Family, or you have broken your system of freedom. I mean, equality for women has just meant more broken families. These broken families have not helped your children, are not helping your future societies, how they are, because broken families are even worse than two, at least when there are two of them, a husband and a wife, and they both go to work, at least both of them are present at night. The broken family model, which, as I said, is inevitable when you give equality between your males and females. You have a lot of, who's the boss question, and the law keeps saying that no, there is equality. There shouldn't be any bosses in the household. So the result is single parents, or your numbers of your single parents have gone through the roof, because your families are not sure who's the boss at home, and the government and the institutions and the whole paradigm keeps telling you that no, that there is total equality at home. Okay, these primates don't understand equality. Compromise because they don't understand, because it's your primates. You need a silverback. Here's the thing, I feel giving women the right to choose a career and follow a career and forget about family and this, that, and the other, it's going to, it's like, I feel, I might be wrong, all of this might be wrong, I'm just saying. It's like you can you can raise a kid in a candy shop. You can raise a kid in a candy shop easily. Candies have enough calories and water and whatever that the child needs, more or less. But this is a short-term success for the child. A woman, it can follow a career and be totally equal in the society and all of that. And you go, girl, and get it. But this is a very short-term success for the sense of achievement of the female members of your society. That's great, and because this is you advocating for that achievement of your own career. Okay, That's she will achieve it eventually with a lot of heartache. Okay, fine, but you never told the woman that raising a family is 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 the most important goal for you to achieve. You don't say that. That's considered in your planet at this time on Earth. That's considered as backward. Telling a woman that your objective should be raising a good family, as wise a kids as you can raise. If you can, objective of a woman in your society, if if you advocate that the objective of a woman in your society should be to try to raise as the best informed and the hardest working children as she can raise. If you set that objective, don't you think it's going to help your next generation become better than your last generations? As opposed to now that you're saying that no, women is equal, she should, wear what she wants, go where she wants, do what she wants, she should be given the right to have a career. That's like saying, yeah, a kid in a candy shop. That's fine. That's great. But have you thought long terms? Have you thought that what is the next generation is going to look like if both none of the parents are at home at all times? They don't spend much time with their kids. They don't see them. Forget about spending time with them and trying to teach what they have learned during life. You don't expect that of them. You don't advertise that. Do you think your next generation is going to be wiser than your last generation or less wise? If they don't spend time with their parents because their parents are never around, do you think they're going to be very civilized, wise individuals who respect society and respect history and respect geography and respect themselves? No, they're not. Fuck you. That 22-year-old who's teaching them in third grade, she's also on OnlyFans. Many of them have been. And no disrespect to the 22-year-olds. Here's the 22-year-old teacher. No disrespect to you guys. But you guys are not teachers. You don't have nothing to teach at 22, 24, 25, at 30. You know shit to teach. Because you don't know anything yourself. But because, the pay is low, doesn't have much buyers, so a 22-year-old lands a job as a teacher. What is she teaching? I don't know. Here's to teachers. I feel, women lose. I feel that this idea that women, given the latitude and the longitude to launch themselves into the society and pursue a career and being honored and advertised, as opposed to raising your next generation, I feel you're missing the point of evolution. you know the children left unattended is 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 the worst crime you can do for your future generations. If children are not attended and they turned out to be George W. Bush, you see what I'm saying? It's clear he wasn't attended. Attended means from one generation to the next generation, all the wisdom has to be passed. So the next generation, with the wisdom from the last generation and the things that they learn extra at school for 3 hours a day, with an old teacher at school with 4 hours a day with a teacher, and then at home learning from their mothers for 10 hours a day, that creates a society that maybe, if you're worried about how scientific the next generation is going to be, I'm sorry, too much science and too little wisdom ends in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Too much science and too little wisdom as a whole. The wisdom of not starting a war, the wisdom of, this tribal things that you monkeys still have, that wisdom can only be increased if the children are given a chance to spend the early parts of their upbringing with their family, their parents, in a good environment, in an environment that is not under financial stress and economic stress and psychological stress of war and these invadings. Folks, there is a solution to this war business that you have on your planet. Here's a simple solution. Every man that is born, man and woman that is born on your planet, gets 1,000 square meters, or let's say 3,000 square feet, or 1,000 square meters of land. Anywhere they're born, they're given this much land to live on and do something, whatever, prosper, live. You got 3,000 square feet or 1,000 square meters. If that happens and everybody has that square and everybody has to live on one of those squares, and if they form a family, they have the right to exchange squares. So a family of 5 would have, let's say family of 5 would have 5 times 1,000 square meters. That 5,000 square meters would be a family of 5. And as the family grows and the parents die, and the squares will decrease or the squares will increase based on the size of the family. If you do that on your land right now, you say wherever you're born, you're allowed 1,000 square meters or 3,000, 4,000 square feet of land in where you were born. You can do whatever you want on that piece of land. I think war stops on your planet. War stops because you're not allowed to own any other place's land, period. Not as a nation, not as a corporation, not as an individual, not as a wealthy individual, not as a poor individual. Everybody on your planet gets 1,000 square meters of land from the time of birth. And they can only exchange their own land for another land. So a family is allowed to have land around each other, to have a bigger home if there is a bigger family, and to have a smaller home if there is a smaller family. But each individual, the day they're born, they're given 1,000 square meter of land. Or 4,000 square feet of land. So the point is this: the war starts, and nobody can own more land than anybody else. This is you're allowed. This is what you're allowed. You can change its place, but you can't own more. This is what you're allowed. I think you stop wars. You stop wars because nobody can get more land. Not as a tribe, not as a nation, not as an individual. You can't get more than the land that you're allowed based on this planet-wide law. President of the United States gets 4,000 square feet of land, and the homeless man in Skid Row in Los Angeles also gets 4,000 square feet of land. They can do with their land whatever the fuck they want. But the whole idea is that's your place. If you have money to build a shack there, you build a shack, and it's all good. And if you have money to build a castle there, that's all good too. But you get that land, and nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can give it to you, because every person has that much land. Then the question of war goes away, because uh, the whole idea behind the wars that is happening on your planet is land. And this, you have this obsession of living on top of each other. You like living on top of each other, so your populations keep concentrating in one area, and then you have clash of civilization because two fucking cultures believe they own that fucking piece of land because they do like to live next to each other like chickens. Men lose. Men have lost big in your society. Men have lost big in your society in terms of how much. Imagine the man, this idea of women's freedom, women's liberation, equal rights. Men have lost the whole aspect of, leader of the house, or the king of the house, or leader of the house, or the big kahuna in the house. You have taken that place away from men. You have given them equal status to women, and after a few months or to a few years, there are fights because equality is, if equality was good, God had an equal partner. But if that was a good idea, that would have happened. So the whole idea is that men lose because, soon after a few months to a few years, there is a disagreement, and the woman thinks she also has a penis. So two penises cannot live next to each other in a home. We all know that. Men can't, this aggressive nature that men in your planet have, it prevents them from living in close proximity. They're very territorial. And that's what the way they are with their women as well. So territorial. That's who you are. That's your primates. The thing is there. The thing is there. I mean, the whole idea that I couldn't watch the Indecent Proposal, because I tried to watch Indecent Proposal like 3-4 times and I couldn't go through with it. Every time in the middle, I was so upset that I had to, turn off the system, go for a walk. So so because this is who you are. You're territorial. Your men are territorial. Your women are territorial, and so a territory needs a leader. And you have taken the leadership role away from the man, and you said, okay, now you're equal partnership. So the equal partnership creates a lot of fights. It creates a lot of disagreements because man is designed to try to have it his way, and now you're telling women that no, don't let him, sister. She shouldn't have his way every time, all the time. You speak up, girl. This is what you say, basically. So the point is this. So you have taken the crown away from your men. There are more disagreement. The disagreements, not there are more disagreement. There were the same amount of disagreement that you have always had in your history within your families. But these disagreements end in divorce because both sides have equal rights, and nobody has to calm down the situation because they have less rights, so they calm down the situation. No, both are aggressive and they fight because both think they're equal in the eyes of the law, and nobody calms down. Nobody tries to calm down the situation, so they get into it. The neighbors call the police for public disturbance, and then the family is broken up. Because you can't have two penises living under one roof. Either he has a penis or she has a penis. Somebody has to have the penis, and somebody cannot have the penis. That's the important part. Your children are losing because, as I said, each generation no less are less wise, less learned in the West, especially in North America and Western Europe. Your children are growing up less wise, less civilized than they used to in the 50s, 60s, 70s. I think the people at that time were much wiser. I mean, I have a feeling, let's say, for example, geography. People of 50s, 60s, 70s, 40s knew a lot more about geography of the world. Let's, we can say just because they just came out of a fucking war, that and a lot of them had to learn new geography on their fucking planet. But still, 60s, 70s, they still. You don't have to be at war to want to know the geography of your planet. You shouldn't be at war to try to learn the history. You should learn the history as a remedy for going to war. As a remedy not to repeat it, because it becomes deja vu. If you know the history, it becomes deja vu for you when you see it being repeated. If you do that, that deja vu prevents you from being repeating it. The problem is you don't get deja vu feeling because you don't know the history. Therefore, you're committed to repeat it. Because if you had the deja vu moment, you remembered the history that you read from how many times this shit has gone down the same way, you would say, deja vu, no, that's a bad idea. Let's not go that way. Let's go this way. Fucking people. So your children are losing this idea of freedom for women and total equality. Your children are losing because they're being brought up in single families, single parent families. And the same, single parent who does a different job, and the children go to the 22-year-old's classroom to learn. Not spending time together in a family, in a two-parent family or in a single-parent family, you get to spend even less time together. So there's all this thing about parents and children not understanding each other. How do you think they're supposed to understand each other if they spend less and less time with each other? Because you have taken both parents to work in the society and you have left the children with the 22-year-old. How the fuck these children are supposed to have an understanding with their parents if they don't see them? And then that's you have dysfunctional families. Dysfunctional families means dysfunctional society. And you think this shit is better than the shit they have in the Middle East? I don't think so. You do you, but for heaven's sakes, until you can show me proof that when you do you, the results is better, then if you can show me the results, then I say maybe I do you too. But you right now, as you're doing you, show me the results. You do you, but also if you want me to do you, show me the results. The only results that I see in the West, in the pink skin areas of the world that are run by democracy in capitalist format with freedom and equality for all the workforce, for the bumblebees, equal opportunities for all the worker bumblebees to be, at the service of the, corporations. Here's the thing, Nobel Peace Prize Committee, the only people who are very served very well in this ideal of bee colony and that equality between men and women and now transgenders and gays, and that's fine too, but the whole idea of equality between men and women is creating this bee colony. And you're advocating this as the correct way to go, but you don't have the proof to show for it. And I have spent time in Norway as well, in Europe as well. I spent a little less time in Germany and Portugal. But you're going backwards. In Europe, in terms of social cohesion, you're going backwards from the 1950s onwards till today. And it's clear that the main reason behind that is that this equality has created more friction in your families, because a family cannot have two heads. It has created more friction. Women's liberation has created more workforce for your corporations, who are the only winners. The only winners of this equation of equality for women has been corporations, period. Somebody who needs a workforce. People who need a workforce are the only ones benefiting from this equality of men and women. They keep breaking up families and using each member of family separately. Corporations were using different members of family separately, and the norm, the paradigm is that one income should not be enough to support the family. You need two incomes to support the family. Well, the only winners are corporations. They're paying shit, and they're getting twice the workforce than they normally should get, which is our male workforce. And this is good short term for the corporations, and good short term as a sugar high for women who achieve a career in the society. That's short term happiness for these women, and long term happiness for corporations who make boatloads of money now that they have twice as workforce that they should normally. So, but what is the long-term result of that? Are the men happier? Are the children happier? Families happier? Is the future brighter? Is the next generation is going to be more wise than the last generation? The answer to all of this is no. So what is coming out of this business of equality for women in the family, and freedom of you can hang your ass out all day long. Nobody should feel, your men should not feel threatened, because men are not territorial anymore. We are not gorillas. We are men, and we are civilized men. Oh fuck. Every time I've been out with a woman, always you would find another man to try to just come and approach us and have something to say. Have something to say. Every time. Because you're men, this is how you motherfuckers are. You're tribal, you're territorial, and you never had to have enough to eat. You need more. In this kind of society, and this result has been because your children are not grown up with wisdom. They don't grow up with wisdom. They don't have the wisdom that their parents had. As we said, if you want to move forward, every generation has to have the wisdom of their parents and add on top of it. To have their wisdom on their parents, they need to be with their parents, both of them, as much time as possible. So they can get their wisdom and then add more wisdom when they have an old teacher at school who download more wisdom in their brain. So each generation can, and a lot of wisdom that they get off hopefully books and reading material, so the next generation can become better than the last generation. But you don't do that. Because the first step, you're saying equality for women, women have equal rights, they should go to work, you advertise working for women, careers, and this is the shitty result that you can show me. Us. Everybody can see it. Divorce rates, suicide rates, drug addiction rates, broken families, single families, children grown up without civility, little information, and your fucking statues of your history, statues related to your history, end up in the fucking canals. But corporations are happy. I think the Walton family, the owners of Walmart, by now they own several states. I think by now they own Kansas and Arkansas. Folks, my dear people at the Peace Prize Committee, with all due respect, for the medal that you are giving to, in this example, to a Middle Eastern woman who, you know, believes there should be equality for women in the household and in the society, and women should wear what they want and behave how they want in the society, and she opposes that, and you have given her a medal. That's fine. You are advocating for your own paradigm, your own perspective in the world, and you say our perspective is better than theirs in the world. Better than what is their perspective? Their shitty perspective in the world is that their climate is hot. They're a bunch of horny men in that hot climate, and they're more aggressive than the northern men of the Scandinavia, for example, or the Eskimos. You know, an Arab man is more aggressive than an Eskimo. We agree on that, right? It's one part of it is environmental. So in that aggressive environment, in that shitty environment, they have this idea that let's cover up our women and not give them equal rights, cover up our women because to prevent our men from getting horny and start fucking in the middle of the street because they're still silverback gorillas. Because we are like that, so we're gonna cover the woman. So in order to prevent, our men from, becoming stimulated, because it's a hot climate in the middle of a shithole in the Middle East. But you're telling them that no, you should adapt our form of living, which is total equality for women, and then your woman should wear whatever they want, and no, and you're not considering who they are, their culture, their silverback mentalities, and their hot climate, and all that goes along with it, and their thousands of year old cultures, which goes one way, which is totally different from what you're advocating. You're saying that they should follow your form, but then I don't see your form has given good results either. Let's assuming that your form, let's assume that if you're to advocate your perspective on this planet, you have to to advocate for that, you have to show that your form has performed better. Has it? In the West, with all the broken families and uneducated children and uncivilized children, and that is going backwards. Every generation, the older generation is much better than the younger generation. You're going backwards. But then you give the prize to somebody on the shithole in the Middle East who advocate for your system, which hasn't produced results, better results. Well, that's I have another video called Apex. That's Apex at play. Apex mentality. That I'm better and my system is better just because it's me. Not because I'm better than you. Here's to you.